My name is Michelle Macias Mendez, and I will introduce myself a little bit. You can see a picture of me in my hometown. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Mexico, but I'm a first year student of international relations at the Anglo-American University in Prague. So I'm currently living in the Czech Republic. I'm there right now, but I'm Mexican, born and raised. I'm also the co-founder of Xochimilco Market, which is a small business that we just started in Germany with family that I have there, and we are selling Mexican products to Mexican people living in Germany and other places in Europe. We export Mexican products all around Europe. And I also consider myself as an active leader of the feminist movement, especially in Mexico, and hopefully I'll grow to be a activist here in Prague as well. So the topic of this course is leadership, and the most important thing, or how we should start, is by defining leadership. So what is leadership? So I wrote in the presentation, leadership can be seen to capture the essentials of being able and prepared to inspire others. So it's all about inspiration. I also see leadership as the art of motivating people, motivating a big group of people towards achieving a common goal. So usually you as a leader have a common goal that you want your people to achieve, and you do that by engaging them and inspiring them in order to achieve what the common goal is. So as I wrote here, a leader inspires others to act while simultaneously directing the way that they act. So you not only expect them to act, but you also need to motivate them, coach them, help them, and be there for them. Basically, you need to be a leader. Now, this is a really important question most people ask themselves. Can anyone become a leader? Who can become a leader? Can I myself become a leader? Do I have what I need to become a leader? Well, it is important to understand that there's a huge difference between leadership and influence. So not everyone, because some people think, oh, you have a lot of followers, you're an influencer, now that it's so common to be Insta famous, TikTok famous, and have a lot of people that follows you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a leader. Being an influencer doesn't mean that you're a leader. And what are the differences? Where, first of all, leaders definitely have influence, but not all influencers are leaders. And that was my main point. You can have followers, you can have people that follow you, but you're not necessarily a leader, even though you might have some influence. Influence has more of an effect on people's character, thought process, and values. And leadership tends to affect people's actions, which is why it's so valued in the business world. That's what you want to get people to do. You want to affect how people act. You want to affect how people react, how people will act in order to, as I mentioned, achieve a common goal. And then here it says, like the effective leader, the effective influencer develops a positive quality that reaches people, whether on an individual level or in ways that impact millions of people. So anyone can develop these qualities, whether or not they're in the position to lead. So we can all have influence, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we all be in the position to lead, because you need to achieve that. Not, you don't born a leader. That's my point. You have to work towards it. Okay. But now you have to work towards it. You have to develop. But how do you do it? How can I develop my own leadership qualities? How can I become a leader? Well, I made this box, which are the key points that I believe are the most important. And as I said, like key points towards achieving leadership. First of all, you have to know what you stand for. You can be a leader if you don't have your own values and your own ideas pre-established. You have to know what you're stand for, and you have to stand for it. In my case, I stand for equality. I stand for feminism. I stand for women's rights. So if I want to become a leader in that aspect, I can be doing things that are controversial to what I stand for. I can be promoting things that are not beneficial for equality. I can be promoting a misogynist memes. I cannot be promoting guys or men being rude or being disrespectful toward women, because that is not what I stand for. If I don't stand for what I believe, then people will not take me seriously, because it's like, oh, I'm a feminist, but then you don't show that to people, so then people won't take you seriously. Okay? Then the other one, interact, coach, help, and facilitate better performance for people. That's what I said. If you want to be a leader, you need to work with your people. Because people might think, oh, you're a leader, so you're on top of people. No, no. Leadership is about companionship. Leadership is about teamwork, co-working with people, you know? So you need to interact with them. You need to coach them. You need to help them. You need to facilitate them. If you want your people to work with you in order to achieve a common goal, what better way to do it than by grabbing them by the hand? You're not above them, you're not under them, but you're with them, you're within them, you're part of them. It's all a team. Chat, oh, I think there's a question.
No,
Perfect.
she's just typing the
No,
nuggets you up there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Then the other one, embrace change. And that applies for everything. That basically applies for life, but that is my life quote. I always say that, and I always try to remember that to myself. Embrace change. Things change, people change, we ourselves change, everything change, and you have to embrace it. And but what I mean with this is that you have to remember that not everything is going to be as you expect it to be. Not everything is going to be as planned, as you planned. So you can plan something, but it might not end up as you plan it. But you have to embrace change. And if you're going to be a good leader, you need to be ready for that. You need to be ready for change, and you need to know how to react to change. So you have to embrace change. The other one is explore and fine-tune your leadership style. There is not one type of leadership. There is not one type of leader. Oh, if you want to be a leader, you must be blah, 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 blah. You need to be, you need to have graduated school. You need to have a degree. You need to be rich. You need to be an influencer. You need to have 1 million followers on Instagram. You need to be TikTok famous. You don't need any of those things, because there is not one specific type of leader. There are a lot of types of leaders, and in different scales. Maybe Michelle Obama is one type of leader because she was the first, I forgot the name in English, but she was married to Barack Obama. But then me, myself, a Mexican town girl, is also a leader on a different scale, you know? We can all be leaders, but there's not one type of leadership. So we all have to find and explore our leadership style. How can I, myself, Michelle, be a leader with the circumstances I have, with the engagement I have, with the amount of people I know, with the amount of people I want to spread the word to, you know? And then understand how values drive motivation. And I believe that this specifically works when it comes to leadership in activism. Because I want to focus also this presentation specifically in leadership in activism, leadership in human rights, leadership in feminism, leadership in trans rights, between other types of leadership. So you have to understand how values drive motivation. You know, what are your values? And this drives back to the first point. You have to know what you stand for. What is that you stand for? What is that you push? What is that you believe? That is what is this thing that you want other people to follow up? You know? And then the final quality is your strengths and your team's strengths. Because as I've said, leadership is a teamwork. Leadership is not a me work. Leadership is not a me, myself, I want to be a leader, I want to be powerful, I want to be rich. It's about what am I good at and what am I lacking? What do I need to improve? I have a team of people that work with me, and we all complement each other. That's why it's a team. It's teamwork. So you need to understand what are your team's strengths, what is your strength, and how you combine that strength together to make a powerful team, to make it work. You as a leader have the job to guide everyone, to be a guidance tool for your team. As I said, interact with them, coach them, help them, and facilitate them, but also be open to learn from them. You have to be open to learn from your team, because we, even if we're leaders ourselves, we are always we always need to be aiming to learn. And that's what I loved about some of you, that you said, I'm very excited to learn. I'm here to learn. I introduce myself as a leader, but I want this course and I want this class because I want to learn. So we never stop learning. I love that attitude. And I'm really happy that you are really willing to learn, because that's what we need as leaders. Okay. Then I want to show a YouTube video, and it's right. Thank you.
Do you love your wife?
Yes.
Prove it. Like, what's the metric? Give me the number that helps me know, right? Because when you met her, you didn't love her. Now you love her, right? Tell me the day the love happened. It's an impossible question. But it's not that it doesn't exist, it's that it's much easier to prove over time, right? Leadership is the same thing. It's about transitions. So if you were to go to the gym, it's like exercise, right? If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? So clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, like in a relationship, I bought her flowers and I wished her happy birthday, and she doesn't love me. Clearly I'll give up. That's not what happens. If you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. And the same with the relationship. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency, right? You go to the dentist twice a year, your teeth will fall out. You have to brush your teeth every day for 2 minutes. What does brushing your teeth twice a day for 2 minutes do? Nothing. Unless you do it every day, twice a day for 2 minutes, right? It's the consistency. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. So the problem is we treat leadership with intensity. We have a 2-day offsite, we invite a bunch of speakers, we give everybody a certificate, you're a leader, right? Those things are like going to the dentist. They're very important, they're good for reminding us or getting us back on track, learning new lessons, but it's the daily practice of all the monotonous, little, boring things like brushing your teeth that matter the most. She didn't fall in love with you because you remembered her birthday and bought her flowers on Valentine's Day. She fell in love with you because when you woke up in the morning, you said good morning to her before you checked your phone. She fell in love with you because when you went to the fridge to get yourself a drink, you got her one without even asking. She fell in love with you because when you had an amazing day at work and she came home and she had a terrible day at work, you didn't say, yeah, but let me tell you about my day. Right. You sat and listened to her awful day and you didn't say a thing about your amazing day. This is why she fell in love with you. I can't tell you exactly what day, and it was no particular thing you did. It was the accumulation of all of those little things that she woke up one day and it's as if she pressed a button. She goes, I love him, right? Leadership is exactly the same. There's no event. There's no thing I can tell you you have to do that your people will trust you. It just doesn't work that way. It's an accumulation of lots and lots of little things that anyone by themselves is innocuous and useless. Literally, pointless by themselves. People will look at little things that are good leadership practices and say, that won't work, and you're absolutely right. But if you do it consistently, and you do it in combination with lots of other little things, like saying good morning to someone, that looking them in the eye. My friend George, who's a 3-star general in the Marine Corps, he says his test for leadership, and I love this, he goes, his test for a good leader is if you ask somebody how their day is going, you actually care about the answer. The number of times we're walking to a meeting, we're rushing, we go, how are you? Not good, I gotta get to you later, I'm late for a meeting. Right. If you ask the question, you were standing there and you were listening to the answer. It's those little innocuous things that you do over and over and over and over that people will say, I love my job. Not I like my job. I like my job means, yeah, the challenge is great, they pay me well, I like the people. I love my job means, I don't want to work anywhere else. I don't care how much somebody else is willing to pay me. I'm devoted to the people here, and I care desperately about the people here as if they were my family. In business, we have colleagues and coworkers. In the military, they have brothers and sisters. That's how they think of each other. If you really have a strong corporate culture, the people will think of each other like brothers and sisters. It's like a family, right? No, brothers and sisters. Deep love. Fight, but the love doesn't go away. Bicker, the love doesn't go away. And I'll fight with my sister, but if you threaten my sister, you're gonna have to deal with me. Right? We'll fight internally, we'll bicker with each other, but nobody's gonna hurt each other, and if anything from the outside shows up, you're looking at a unified front. Brothers and sisters. Now, how do you create brothers and sisters out of strangers? Common beliefs, common values, parents, in other words, executives who care about their children's success, who care to raise their children, teach them skills, discipline them when necessary, help them build their self-confidence so that they can go on and achieve something more than you could have ever imagined achieving for yourself. That's leadership.
Okay. So, can y'all hear me? Yeah. I love that video. I watch it every time I need some inspiration because that guy, he's really inspiring to me. But I love the video because of what he said. Wait. Leadership is about transitions. So keep that in mind. Every time you need some inspiration, every time you're feeling like you can be a good leader, leadership is about transitions. Leadership is not something you get one time. Leadership is not something someone can give to you. Leadership is not something you can buy, but it's something you can achieve along the way as you grow up. You can get there, but you have to work for it. You have to believe in yourself. Leadership is about transitions. Now, leadership takes action. And I absolutely love that that is something that Tunde said just before we started the meeting. He said, leadership takes action. Wait, I wanted to see someone. Okay, yeah, they're on just the nights. Leadership takes action. So you can say, yes, I'm a leader. Yes, I consider myself as a leader. But as someone, I'm sorry, I forgot the name. These are hard to pronunciate for me. But someone said in their presentation, I myself, I'm a leader. And I act like it, So leadership takes action. I want to give a personal experience of why I consider myself as a leader. And as I mentioned in my introduction, when I presented myself, I said that I'm an activist in the feminist movement in Mexico. So I just want to give a quick preview of what is going on in Mexico. Sadly, there are a lot of feminicides every day. Women are killed on a daily basis. It's a hard situation for us women since it's really dangerous. There are deaths every single day in the country, and our government is absolutely not doing anything about it. So we got tired of it, and the only way of ending it, and I understand the situation in Nigeria as well. So I know that you feel me, and I know that we understand each other in this situation, because the only way to really test the government and to really show them how angry we are is by protesting. So we had to do something about it. And there is a really big riot that goes in Mexico City every single year on Women's Day, but it's absolutely dangerous. And a lot of people don't go there because they don't want to risk their lives. So I live in a small town, it's actually pretty big, 200,000 people around. And my friend on the right and me decided to organize a small riot on my city, since a lot of our friends and a lot of people in my town wouldn't want to go to Mexico City because of the situation. We were, okay, then why can we create one here, a peaceful one, so that we still riot, that we still share and demonstrate how angry we are with people, like with the government, without risking anyone's life. So we decided to do this one day before, and we were expecting 15 people, 20 people, maybe 25, 30 people. But actually, we ended up having more than 5,000 people on the streets screaming for women's rights, And that was a really strong and powerful moment for us, because we gathered all these people just by one Instagram post. We literally just posted on the stories, hey, we're going to gather tomorrow. If you want to come, let's meet us there. We were not expecting 5,000 people, and we were not expecting this much response from people. But when we ask people, how did you find out about this, or how did you decide to go, they all said, well, because we know you, Michelle. We know that you're always sharing things about feminism. You're always sharing things against the government on your social media. You're someone that really believes on the cause, and since you believe on it, you make us believe on it too. And that is something that really changed my perspective on things, because then I realized, okay, then I have to believe it myself first, and then people will believe it too. So it's not something you do once a year, because Women's Day happens once a year, but you can only say, yeah, I care for women's rights once a year. But it's something that you have to constantly do. As he said on the video, it's about consistency. So if you care about it, if you really want to change something about it, then you must be constant. So one way of doing it is sharing information about it, sharing posts about it, using your social media, using your tools and what you have in your power to do about it. So that was just like a personal experience of something that really help grow my perspective as having 5,000 people on the street, which might be not that many people if you consider, but we were expecting 20 people literally, and the fact that we got that many people was absolutely inspiring for us. And now that is on a small scale. As I said, there are different types of leaders and on different scales, but we can, for example, use the example of Monroe Bergdorf. How do I pronounce that? Bergdorf. She's a model and a trans activist. She is very active on trans movements. She wants to make trans awareness. She's a model from Britain, and she has fronted a lot of beauty campaigns based around gender fluidity, which is something which is like a really sounded topic these times. Then we also have Andy Murray, tennis player. He's a feminist. I wanted to include men in feminism because a lot of people exclude them, but I think it's important. And he used his, okay, I wanted to say he used his platform. Sorry, he used his platform to call out casual sexism, whatever he finds it. He challenged sexist timetables and reporting in tennis, and he has encouraged more women to get into sport as well as fighting for equal pay. He penned an essay on gender equality for the BBC and stood up for his female coach after she received online backlash. He even wrote a column in French newspaper L'Equipe, Parly, and he declared himself a feminist. And that's what he said. Have I become a feminist? If being a feminist is about fighting so that a woman is treated like a man, then yes, I suppose I have. I absolutely love that quote, and I absolutely respect this man. Then we also have the example of Adwa Aboa. She's sorry if I probably pronounced that wrong, Adwa Aboa. She's a model. She's also an activist. She is an activist for mental health and drug addiction. She opened the door for many other famous faces to break taboos and talk frankly about these issues. She's a prominent activist for feminist issues. She even founded the online community Girls Talk, which is like a podcast. And she gives girls and young women a safe space to discuss the issues they care about. Finally, and my favorite one for sure, Emma Watson. She's an actress. We might know her from Harry Potter. And she's also an activist for the feminist movement. She was declared, or she was awarded by the UN Women Goodwill Ambassador in 2014. On that year, she also launched the He for She campaign, encouraging men to advocate for gender equality. And she launched the feminist Instagram book club, Our Shared Shelf. And she also continues to fight on a daily basis for gender equality. So you might also say, oh, but they all have a platform. They all have followers. They all have, a safe space and people that listen to them, which is true. They might have a great advantage with us. But as I said, it's on a different scale. But the reason and what they all have in common is not how famous they are, or is not how rich they are, but is the fact that they are all leaders and it takes action. Some people are famous for other things, but the fact that they are using their platforms to spread the word on something they believe and something they stand for is what makes them different from other famous people. And I don't know, I feel like we should use these examples to get inspired and to remember that, first of all, leadership is a transition, but that also leadership takes action, which is extremely important, and that we can expect to become a leader from one day to another, but it's something that we need to build up our whole lives, but act on it. Just don't talk about it, but act on it. Start at your house, start at your community, at your school, your city, your country, your continent, and then you can end up worldwidely. And there are 3 values that I believe are the most important for leadership, and they are integrity, respect, and responsibility. That one, respect, that's the most important value I believe that is necessary for leadership, because not only you want to be respected by others, but the only way you're gonna be respected is by respecting others. That is the value that I believe is the most important when it comes to brotherhood, and I believe that that's what he meant on the video. But respect, integrity, and responsibility, I will say like those are the most important values that support the spirit of brotherhood. I believe that there is something really important that you need to remember, and that is that failure is not bad. Not at all. I actually believe that failure is the best thing that could have happened to you, and you want to know why, because you learned from it.